I'm Acne Nicole and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing some self-care and story time. And since my self-care for today is going to be some skincare, I thought it was appropriate to talk about my dermatologist horror story. If you are interested in my skincare routine and my dermatologist story, keep watching. So to start off, I'm going to be washing my face. And I'll tell you guys what I'm using. Nothing special, just things I picked up from Target. And I just use these until they're gone. And if I like it, I keep it. If I don't, then I'll try something new. But so far, so good. So these earrings was cute, but we about to take them out right now because they cheap and they can't get wet. So I'll just give you guys a backstory on like my skin. So I have always suffered with acne since puberty, and now as an adult I suffer with adult acne and hormonal acne, and also hyperpigmentation, which is why I scar so easily when I do get acne, whether I pick my acne or not. So first I'm activating the wash as I seen on YouTube, and I'll wash my face for about a minute. So yes, from as long as I can remember, from puberty until now, I've suffered from acne. And I mean, when I tell you I've tried everything in the book, from Proactive to every over-the-counter like acne medication, acne wash, all of that stuff in between, and it was not working. It was not working, mainly because I didn't know what was triggering my acne. Not only did it not work, but some of the things that I tried even made my acne worse. In high school, so in middle school is when it started, of course. During puberty, I started getting acne on my cheeks. And what I didn't know then was not only that I have acne because of puberty, but my skin was very sensitive to like different things. So back then we used to wear like the door knocker earrings from the beauty supply store, and for a long time I didn't realize whatever material that was made with was also triggering acne. So it was like my cheeks were always inflamed. Also my forehead, actually my forehead didn't start until I was in middle school, and that I didn't realize that was triggered mainly by like me wearing hats all the time when my hair wasn't done, not washing my hair because I used to wear like box braids, and I used to wear them for a long time, didn't wash them, like was active, you know, ran track and everything like that. And like, you know, I would keep the hairstyles in, weaves, wigs, bangs, all of that. I would do that, and my face was so sensitive and it was triggering my acne, and I didn't realize that's what it was. Before I turn into concrete, I'm going to be using a face mask today. Some face mask I got from Marshall's or TJ Maxx, I don't know, one of those places. And because my face is really dry lately, it's called Hyaluron Pump mask by It's Skin. It's moisture infusion. It's supposed to be moisturizing, hydrating, and calming. So we're gonna throw this on real quick before we finish. So yeah, back then, like skincare, like was washing your face in the morning and washing your face at night with whatever soap or acne soap that I had, you know, in a cabinet, and that was it. I really didn't pay attention to like what was triggering my acne. I just kind of just went with the flow, and honestly that played a lot in a lot of my insecurities when I was younger, and I didn't know what to do. And like my mother was so supportive. Like when I tell you, we tried every acne line. Anytime I would cry about like bad breakouts and things like that, we would go to the store and literally buy any and every acne line, and that stuff was not cheap. Any and every acne line that was there that I didn't try to see if it worked, and I don't know if that made it worse or better, but here we are. Okay, it says leave on for 10 minutes. Perfect. So while we wait, we'll just talk a little bit more. So yeah, so it was just I had a bad experience with acne. Like me and acne just, weren't best friends. And it just made life hard dealing with it. Once I got to college, I say I might have gotten a little bit more of a hold of it. I still didn't know what products to use, but I just washed my face more often because I realized, like, in college, in high school, when I ran track, we would run track, go work out, blah, blah, blah. And then we would hang out, like, until it got late, and then I would go home and then I'll wash my face. But once I got to college, I realized I need to wash my face immediately after and things like that. So I just got a little bit more better with that. And also looking at the products I used, they were really drying. But I didn't realize that until later on. But I think for the most part it was okay. But my hormonal acne, I couldn't control. Like, I would just get really bad breakouts on my cheeks when my period came around, and I didn't know what to do. So once I got older, older. Once I got my first big girl job with benefits, what time is it? Okay. Once I got my first big girl job with benefits, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm about to get like the best, dermatologist in the area to help me out with this, because I just was ready to get rid of it. Like, I was over it. I was just trying to get the best person, the highest rated person online for dermatology. So I found someone. Mind you, at this time I'm in Connecticut, and the majority of the people that you see in Connecticut are not Black. So, I figured that it wouldn't be someone Black, but I said they're top rated, they're a doctor, they must know what they're gonna do. So I walk in, and they sit me down, and they're like, oh, why are you here today, or whatever. And I said, I told them, like, I get really bad acne on my cheeks, and I suffer from hyperpigmentation, and I don't know how to control it. Like, some weeks are better than others, and of course the week that I actually go to the dermatologist, I'm having a good week, and I don't know why. So what he does is it's the doctor, the dermatologist just is a dermatologist there, and it's like, I guess, like the resident student or something with him. So they look at my face or whatever, turn my face, look at my face, and they're like asking me questions like, oh, when do you get breakout most, and blah blah blah. So I told them, what I've noticed is I break out most on my period, but I break out whenever. I don't know what's triggering it, I just know I break out. And then he gives me two options, and I'm like, okay, what are the two options? The first option he gives me is I can get a shot in my face, and I'm like, what do you mean a shot? He was like, yeah, I can give you, I don't know if it was a steroid or something, but he was saying I forgot, but he was saying like he could give me a needle or a shot in my face to help with my acne. And I'm like, okay, so, if it's a shot directly in my face, like, how quickly does it work? And he was like, it'll take up to 3 months, but your acne is going to get really, really, really bad before it gets good. And I'm like, really, really bad, like what? And he was like basically saying that whatever he's injecting is going to basically purge my skin first, and then it'll start healing. And I'm like, sir, don't you already see that's what I deal with? I don't want to make it worse. Like, that's not really what I want. And I was like, okay, so what's the next option? And then he was like, oh, well, you can take these pills, and you can get a topical cream. And because he was like, what it seems like is from inside out, so I don't think topical cream is really gonna work. And he was like, so you can take these pills, and these pills will help you with your acne, but of course it'll take up to 3 weeks for you to actually start seeing a difference. So I'm like, okay, so tell me more about the pills. Okay, so he was like, the pills that he prescribed me was called spirolactin, or spironolactone or something like that. I'll pop it up on the screen so you can see how it's spelled. And I'm like, okay, so what happens with this one? He was like, you know, when you take these pills, you can't get pregnant. And I'm like birth control? And he was like, no. So you can get pregnant, but your baby will have birth defects if you get pregnant on these pills or whatever. So I'm like, at this age, I'm like, well, I'm not planning on getting pregnant anytime soon. So, you know, whatever. So he was basically saying, like, you could Google this pill too. This pill is usually used to help people who suffer from high blood pressure or have suffered from heart failure or something like that. It's supposed to help people like that, but it was such a low dosage that you can use it as to help balance your hormones or the output of testosterone or something like that, if it's a lower dosage. So he was like, you know, you can use this. And I'm like, get a shot in my face or use, you know, take the pills and just don't get pregnant while I'm on it. So I'm like, okay, you know, I'll take that. And then he gave me a topical cream called tretinoin, and I also put the name of that. So I'm like, okay, with the pills, cool. Then I'm like, okay, so what else? And he was like, you know, you'll suffer some if you don't eat with it, or you should eat early before you take it because it could upset your stomach, and also you can suffer from a little bit of hair loss. So I'm like, you know, all right, let's just try it out. Like, at this point, I'm like desperate, okay? I'm like desperate because I want clear skin. And at this time, like, you know, skincare started becoming a thing, and like everybody's skin is looking flawless. And I'm like, I want my skin like that. Like, I need clear skin. So I'm like, all right, I'll take the pill and the topical cream and we'll go with that. And he was like, you know, the topical cream is, you know, medical grade or whatever, so you know, take it slowly, blah 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 blah. Fine. I'm like, cool. So now I'm taking this, I'm being consistent, like I'm not missing a dosage because I'm ready, because I want my skin to look good. And like, it's looking the same, kind of. Like, I'm trying to be consistent and everything like that, but my skin was kind of looking the same. And I'm like, you know, some parts was something was, I guess it was like the pimples were smaller, but I was still breaking out, but it was smaller pimples. It wasn't those big, you know, like painful under the skin pimples. It was more like, you know, small pimples. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's working. I don't know. But at this time I was doing YouTube, and I had a video where I think I took out a protective style. It was time to do like a wash day. So I wanted to do a wash day on the channel. And so I'm detangling my hair and everything like that. And at this time, like, I'm thinking, you know, you have regular shedding, but I'm detangling my hair. And when I say pounds and pounds of hair is coming out my head, like pounds of hair, like so much hair. It was like, it just never stops. Like, usually, you know, you have your typical shedding, you get through your detangling, you wash it, and you're good, and then you know, you go on with your hairstyle. But like, even after detangling, washing, conditioning, deep conditioning, I'm starting to do my hairstyle. Like, I'm like pulling hair is like coming out. And then I developed like breakage in the middle, like in not even middle, like this section of my hair. And I'm like, why? In the back. And I'm like, why is my hair falling out? Like, my hair just, it was so scary. And I haven't been recording. I think I took that video down because I'm like, no, this is too much. I'm telling people I'm on this channel, like trying to teach people how to take care of their natural hair, and my hair is like falling out by the pounds. Like, this is not good. So yeah, so once that happened, I'm like, oh, hell no. So I just altogether stopped using that medication. And what it made me realize is that I don't really care for medication for my skin. I want to create a lifestyle that'll make my skin better, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to be dependent on like a pill to continue so that my skin is good, because once you stop using it, it's like, you know, your body becomes dependent on it. Sometimes it becomes dependent on it and it no longer works, and now you gotta up the dosage, or your body becomes dependent on it, and when you stop using it, like your face just goes back to the way it was. So I'm like, I'm just gonna stop using the pills. So I did stop using the pills, and I only was using the cream, and the cream was actually working pretty good. Let's take this off. What does it say next? After, leave mask on for 10 minutes, blah blah blah. Remove mask and lightly pat remaining essence for aid for absorption. What's going on? Hold on, let me pat this in, and then I'll let I think my camera is overheating. I don't know what that means. I let the solution of that mask absorb, and I think it's pretty moisturizing, because usually I would look like really ashy right now. Okay, so after I do that, I put on my Murad, like complexion evening cream, like to help with the dark marks and stuff like that. Is it working? I don't know. Sometimes I put it on, sometimes I don't. It depends. I just decided to stop using those pills altogether, and just to use the topical cream. And at the end of the day, when I was using the topical cream, not only was I using the topical cream, but I was doing like a Mask Monday series on my channel. So every week I was doing mask, and my face was beautiful. I mean, pristine. Like, it was the best I've seen my face. So I think the cream actually did work. I ran out of it, but whatever, the cream really worked, and I think the mask actually worked as well. Oh, and then the nighttime, I forgot to mention this. In the nighttime, I do a daily micro exfoliant by Dermatologist. This little one is 15, and it lasts like a month. Now what I do to kind of like keep my face from breaking out, I feel like keeping a lot of things off of my face. Like, my skin is very sensitive. I think it's obvious. So keeping my face clean, keeping my hands out of my face, not picking my face. I stay consistent with washing my face when my face feels dirty, and not when I know it's dirty. So like, not only because I was sweating, but because even if I sat on the couch all day, I'm still cleaning my face because I feel like my face is dirty. Like, just being consistent with washing my face day and night, and in between if I need to. Washing my hair, like when my hair is dirty, washing my hair. Also, I'm suffering from like really dry scalp, and that was also a terrible visit with the dermatologist. If you guys want to hear that story, make sure you put it in the comments that you would like to hear how that visit went. I kind of just like lost hope in going to the dermatologist after the experience with my hair and after the experience with my scalp. Keeping hair out my face, as you can see, I used to do a lot of wigs and stuff like that. I don't really do a lot of wigs now because it's in my face for most of the day. Another thing, changing and washing my pillowcase. I change and wash my pillowcases often. I try to do every week, and in between, and if I feel like you know, they need to be cleaned between the weeks. I still eat cheese, but I don't eat cheese as much as I used to, and I also don't eat ice cream as much as I used to. I don't drink milk, like whole milk. I really don't drink milk at all, just because I don't like it, but I love cheese. But I try to limit the amount of cheese that I can't get rid of it altogether. Come on now, I want to enjoy life, but I do limit the amount of cheese that I take in. Also, acne patches I've been using. So instead of like pinching my skin and like trying to pop a whitehead or a blackhead or whatever, I just put the pimple patches. Those pimple patches work, and really you can get them from anywhere. You don't have to get the mighty patch from Target. You can go to Marshall's and get them for cheaper. Also, the wash that I use, I always use a wash that has salicylic acid in it. This one is 2%. This one has been really good to me. I really like this, and it's a gel. I don't use soaps and I don't use foams. Gels they clean your face without over drying your face. So this has been, I really, and this was my mistake. I didn't even know what I was picking up. I was just picking this up because I need a face wash. I still have breakouts. I'm not gonna say these tips have created like a no breakout zone. I still have breakouts. I just have less aggressive breakouts. Like, my breakouts, I might get smaller pimples. Sometimes I get clusters. That's usually if I have a reaction to something though. Like it's not always my period. Some things, like my skin is sensitive, so sometimes I don't know what caused the breakout, but I'll get like a breakout because of reaction of something. That's why I don't overdo it with products. And yeah, and sunblock. So I still get, like I said, I still get acne, but like, you know, it's whatever at this point. I will look into an esthetician eventually. This is sunblock. I'll look into, oh, Aveeno. This does not turn you white. Sometimes I can get a little oily, but I don't mind. I'd rather my face be oily than to be dry. I think I'm gonna look into a black esthetician so that I can start working on my dark marks now that I kind of got some control of my skin for the most part. And then hopefully they might be able to tell me what to do for my skin, because I feel like I've been to the dermatologist and they just give me strong medication that just doesn't do what it needs to do. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little story time and self-care. If you would like to hear a story time about the dermatologist visit when it came to my scalp, please comment below. Also, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you guys are following me on Instagram at AkemiNicole_. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.